Hey everyone, welcome to the video, and this is the long overdue 3080 upgrade video. So yes, I've gotten myself an RTX 3080. I actually ordered mine at the second week of release, which was around September 15th. But by that time, everything was out of stock. I originally wanted to have the Asus TUF 3080 series, but it was nowhere to be found. And I was offered the PNY Accelerate. I had to wait a month and a half to get the card. At first I was hesitant on getting the RTX 3080 because I recently built my PC around May 2020 and I was running the 1660 Super, which I was very satisfied with. I was able to run games at low to mid settings and stream at 1080p at the same time. If you're interested on that video, please click on this link right here. I was also thinking of using that money to get a new camera or a new lens, but I thought, what better time to get a new GPU than the time of release date. So after waiting a month and a half, I finally got my 3080. And the first thing I noticed was that it was huge in comparison to my one fan 1660 Super. It was so thick that when I plugged it on, it was sitting on top of my SATA cables because I've added hard drives on my unit. It actually slightly bent the SATA port that it was sitting on. Fortunately, everything is still working, so it's all good. So I got the GPU, I plugged it on, checked the BIOS, I checked the system information. It was there. It was able to recognize the RTX 3080. I was able to browse, stream videos, do some video editing, and I was able to run a game. I ran Apex Legends, and by the time I went into the map and started playing the game, it crashes the game. I tested it multiple times and it crashes the game, and that was because my original build had a 550 watt power supply. The issue with these new powerful graphics cards, there's an inconsistent power spike or inconsistent power draw, and if your power supply is insufficient, it would either crash the game or reboot your system, which what I was experiencing. Other people was experiencing it as well. I had to check multiple websites, multiple videos if my 550 watt power supply is able to run the GPU. Because technically on paper it can run the GPU. Running means just to power it on, but the moment you try to use it for its graphical prowess, it needs more power basically. Long story short, I had to get a new power supply. So I ended up getting a 750 watt power supply from Cooler Master. Now, you don't need a B-roll for power supply, right? We all know what it looks like, right? Okay, I was not able to do it. Anyways, it was a 750 watt power supply, 80 plus white. I got it after a week, so my GPU was sitting on my system for a week and I was not able to run any games at all. And then I noticed from the time that I built my PC up to November, my system was filthy. It was full of grime and dirt and dust. So I had to tear the whole thing apart and clean it up. So I cleaned up the fans, cleaned up the case and the CPU. I applied a fresh amount of thermal paste and built it up. And from there, it was running just fine. I've seen builds with a 650 watt power supply, but I wouldn't recommend it because, again, because of the inconsistent power draw spikes that you might encounter. It might just not cut it. So rather than encountering those issues, get yourself peace of mind, just get a 750 watt power supply or higher. So of course, when getting a new GPU, had to download the latest drivers and softwares. I also had to go to the NVIDIA control panel to tweak some settings based on my needs. I kind of turned off G-Sync and some of the settings that would allow me to exceed the frame rate that my monitor was capable of, because I'm running a 144 Hz monitor. Yeah, I wanted to see how my GPU fares or performs real time, so I won't be limited to 144 frames per second. And I also did some undervolting using MSI Afterburner because it was running really hot. It was running around 85 to 98 degrees Celsius. It was really hot. It was actually affecting the room temperature here. So I did some undervolting and I got it to run around 76, 72, 76 at idle, and at load, running games and streaming at the same time, I was getting around 85 to 90 degrees Celsius. So it's still hot, and that is the reason why I'm actually thinking of doing an upgrade on my build. I'm thinking of an RTX build. If you're interested in that video, subscribe so you don't miss that. But what was it like daily driving a 3080? Well, of course, it's been really great. Being the latest GPU, it will be able to run pretty much anything you throw at it at high to ultra settings. If you're interested on benchmarks, there's already a lot of videos out there, and they have the right equipment to be able to initiate those tests. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for dropping by and checking this out. Until next time, cheers.